Then the big move came towards digital as the world is moving to digital with the announce of the UltraCam D in 2003. At that time, we were the new kids on the block, and that camera system was already incredibly successful. UltraCam nowadays stands for a family of systems that we are combining our hardware together with innovative software for an overall quality of the solution. The Vexcel Data program was launched in 2017 as a pilot project for the insurance industry. We are now active with Vexcel Data program in more than 40 countries around the globe. Yeah, and so that grew from a pilot project in 17 to now being the biggest aerial image collection program in the world.
Hello and welcome to Horizons, the World Geospatial Industry podcast. Our guest today is Alexander Wiechert, CEO of Vexcel Imaging. Alexander, thank you so much for this time. Welcome on board.
Yeah, hey, thank you so much for the invitation and the possibility talking here to you and to the audience and memberships of your organization. So it's a real honor and pleasure for me to be here today. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Alexander, Vexcel is a 30-plus-year-old company with state-of-the-art photogrammetric and remote sensing technologies and solutions, right? Can you give us an idea behind the origins of this company and this evolution?
Okay, yeah, great. Now, so pleasure. So it all started, as you mentioned, 30 plus ago with the UltraScan 5000. So that was a photogrammetric scanner. We were at the film days at those days. So the scanner was designed to scan aerial film. Super successful. We sold more than 450 units worldwide. We could still sell some more used for archiving, but many components went end of life. So we closed that business around 2008 and moved the service to our partner GTBI. Well, and then the big move came towards digital as the world is moving to digital with the announce of the UltraCam D in 2003. At that time, we were the new kids on the block against established companies like Leica and Intergraph. But the UltraCam D went in with a total new concept of syntopic exposure combined with the philosophy of what we call software leveraged hardware, which means the hardware needs to be as good as it needs to be. But then the sophisticated solution comes in with the software. And that camera system was already incredibly successful. We went on pair with the established companies, and then we developed a lot of new cameras like the X, the X Prime. Then we introduced the birds of prey. So then a big journey, the big journey of Vexcel started with the aerial film cameras. Yeah. No, and what I wanted to add is, and that also comes together, of course, with a lot of development and innovation in the software. Hardware nowadays is nothing without software. So we started our UltraMap development when we joined Microsoft with a lot of new features, and so that all is now this rounded, highly innovative solution, the combination of the UltraCam together with UltraMap.
Thanks for this brief, Alexander. My first question to you on that note is about your flagship product, which is UltraCam. Can you help us understand this camera's versatility and how it differentiates from others in the aerial imaging market?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So UltraCam nowadays stands for a family of systems. It all started with the UCD, so there was one camera, then we had the X Prime, also one camera, then we added the UltraCam L-Prime, which was a kind of an entry-level system. But then we moved, starting 2011, we moved into the world of the birds of prey. First system being the UltraCam Eagle, which is our photogrammetric nadir camera system, but then we added the Osprey. The Osprey stands for our systems capable of capturing oblique imagery together with photogrammetric nadir. Then we launched the Condor, which is designed to capture large areas, regions, continents in record time. So you fly the system high, you fly it fast, you do a kind of a base map layer in the utmost efficiency. So we are adding more and more application-specific camera systems. And one of the last we added is the Dragon, where we had this hybrid collect of combining the oblique nadir image capture together with a high sophisticated LiDAR. So in one step, we differentiated in the applications, designing specific cameras for specific applications. And then on the other hand, we were adding features like the exchangeable lens system to the UltraCam Eagle, so that a customer can have several lenses, you can exchange it themselves, and then by keeping photogrammetric stability, so that makes it super versatile, as you can collect the same ground sample distance on different flying altitudes. So a lot of development went all into this, so that we are combining our hardware together with innovative software for an overall quality of the solution. Because at the end, it's all about making our customers win. So we are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing this so that our customers can win their competition in the market and can develop great data in record time to their customers. So all what we do is I would say quite customer centric or customer focused, as this is at the end what counts.
Yeah, true. Alexander, you briefly mentioned about UltraCam Dragon 4.1. Would you like to, expand on its functionality and utility, and what are some of the use cases this camera is being used right now?
Yeah, pleasure for me, as we are really excited about this last member of the UltraCam family. We announced it a good year ago. So the Dragon is a hybrid system. We took our UltraCam Osprey, which is our photogrammetric camera system. The Osprey has a pan channel and color channels for nadir and all the color channels for oblique. And literally we took out the pan channel and replaced it by a very sophisticated new LiDAR system, and so that became the UltraCam Dragon as a combination of imagery for nadir and oblique and LiDAR. And that LiDAR system was developed by Riegel, so that's another Austrian company. So I would say the Dragon is combined Austrian power, and Riegel developed a new LiDAR scanner, and when we saw this LiDAR scanner, we really got highly enthusiastic. We got crazy about it because this LiDAR system has a absolutely unique and fantastic scan pattern. It collects true nadir, which is super important if you want to collect data, ground data in urban canyons, for example, very narrow streets in skyscrapers. It's also important for forestry when you want to hit the ground. So it has true nadir scan line, but it has also by plus and minus 10 and plus and minus 20 degrees tilted scan lines. So it's not only collecting nadir, it's also collecting forward, backward looking in two different angles. That's totally new in the industry. And that scan pattern is just breathtaking as you're collecting true nadir, but while you are flying over the scene, you are also building up the points on the facades, for example, by forward looking and by backward looking, or when you fly a power line, you're building up the laser measurements on vertical structures like the power line masts and all these things. And this gives a super rich and super dense laser point cloud with features or with features never seen before. And when we saw this and the technical parameter and compared this with the technical parameters of our OSPE, we felt these two subsystems fit together in a perfect way. So when we look at hybrid systems are not new, so they exist since quite some years. But when we looked on them, then we always felt there is a mismatch between the ground sample distance, the resolution of an image, and the point density of the LiDAR, or some of the systems don't have true nadir, they are just collecting in a other scan pattern. So we always felt that with these hybrid sensors, there are quite some shortcomings. And also the flying efficiency was probably not super duper because the LiDAR and the imagery part were not well aligned. And so the data sets collected are nice, but probably not as great as they could be. And now when we saw this LiDAR scanner coming from Wiechert, we were just happy because it fits perfectly together. As an example, when you fly a 5 centimeter ground sample distance nadir image, we are collecting with the Dragon 25 points per square meter on the LiDAR point. And that is such a great fit between the image resolution and the LiDAR point density, so that you can really combine these two data sets into ortho imagery and true ortho imagery, and you don't see artifacts because the resolution of the two systems fit together. And that was a key aspect for us. And then when we saw this, we felt now the time is right to develop this hybrid system. Yeah.
Great. So it's a truly technology partnership among or between WGIC members, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I call it full Austrian power.
That's true. Yeah. So, Alexander, I have noticed that you also mentioned in your opening comments that Vexcel has been acquired by Microsoft, and that I think is 2006, and also became an independent company again in 2016. Would you like to tell us about the backstory of this and how this acquisition augmented Vexcel's technology and business footprint?
Yeah, sure. So that was, of course, a journey, right? In 2006, well, it all started with a speech given by Bill Gates in London at his birthday party, where he launched this vision of virtual Earth. At that time, it was called this virtual globe on the internet. As a kind of a competition to Google. Google was doing the same, and he launched this project at Microsoft, and then at Microsoft the decision was, well, as always, do we develop everything in-house, or should we acquire technology? And here the decision was, hey, just time to market counts, right? So let's buy the technology, and then Vexcel came into the picture, as Vexcel with the UltraCam has all means to acquire high resolution imagery, which is necessary for such a digital globe. And on the other side, Vexcel was already very active in dense matching. That means an overlapping of the imagery, the area imagery are used to generate 3D point cloud surface models, terrain models, by a process called dense matching, where we are using multiple stereo pairs to generate your 3D data. And Microsoft was interested in that because that is a kind of the backbone, or was seen as the backbone for this virtual globe on the internet. And then the acquisition happened. And that's, of course, for this industry, I call ourselves a niche industry. There are probably a lot of smaller companies, maybe some bigger, but none of them being a worldwide giant tech giant like Microsoft. And then Microsoft coming in and acquiring Vexcel, that was, of course, a bummer for Vexcel, but also for the industry. And we had, I must say, we had great years in Microsoft. So we developed a lot of cameras further. So the X Prime was developed. We introduced all the birds of prey. So there was a good growth of technology. And of course, a lot happened on the software side. And besides the area systems, we also started the development of terrestrial sensors for Microsoft. So we had the UltraCam Mustang. So that was a car-mounted system, a kind of a camera head mounted on a car with some lidars attached. And we manufactured dozens of them, and they drove hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kilometers in the US collecting street side imagery. When we also developed the UltraCam Panther, which was a backpack system with a camera head, also based on photogrammetric principles. So all of the street side cameras were capable of generating point cloud by photogrammetry. And all these systems were widely used to collect imagery for virtual Earth, which is called Big Maps now, and also the imagery we are used to generate the underlying 3D models. So it was a great and 10 successful and fantastic years. But then, there's nothing more constant than the change. Steve Ballmer stepped out as the CEO of Microsoft. Satya Nadella came in, and his strategy was more, let's say, back to the roots of Microsoft. Well, and the camera manufacturer in Austria is probably not essentially something you would link to the roots of Microsoft. So we were up for sale. The decision was to phase us out of Microsoft, and I must say I can only speak high about Microsoft in this respect. We are making quite some millions of revenue and profit, but given on a Microsoft scope, it's noise. Well, that's what it is with a tech giant. But there was always the guideline for the team at Microsoft was, let's find a good home for Vexcel. And they really played it out. So we had a long list of potential buyers. Then it all condensed into a short list, and at the end of the day, it ended with I would call it a kind of a management buyout. So we acquired the company as a party of 4 individuals. Martin Ponticelli and myself being from Vexcel in Graz, and then we had Eric Jorgensen and Stephen Lawler coming from former Microsoft employees, CTO of Big Maps and Corp Vice President. So they hired us and they acquired us 10 years ago, and so they were also now part of the acquisition. So we took over the company as 4 individuals. And then 2016, Vexcel became private again. And since then, it worked out well for us. So we had good years in Microsoft, but it was probably also the time to say goodbye as the strategy started to divert. And luckily, everybody grabbed that opportunity, and so we were alone on our feet again and could continue the innovation on the cameras. We added a lot of new software features. We launched VDP. So a lot happened since then. So we left Microsoft with about 80 employees, and now we are worldwide. We are with more than 500. Wow. So quite something happened over the years. Yeah.
So it's a very successful detour. Can we say that?
Yeah. Right. Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, Alexander, you mentioned about developing the software during your association. How did Vexcel bring UltraCam hardware and fully integrated UltraMap software? How has it changed the game for Vexcel in expanding its products and solutions?
I would say, as I mentioned earlier, our North Star is to develop products which enable our customers to be successful and to win the market. That is key. Nothing else counts, right? And the camera and the processing software, they form a solution. The camera needs to collect data of utmost quality in the best possible efficiency. Fair enough. But when the camera comes down after or lands and the data comes into the office after a successful day of flying, I would say then the party just started, right? Because without an efficient processing system, the power of the camera system would disappear.
Sure.
A camera collects terabytes of data per day nowadays. So our data units standard size is now 16 terabyte, and in a good day this is full. And with the new systems like the Osprey 4.2 or the Dragon, we are even going to 32 terabytes of data per storage unit. So that means after a successful day of flying, you come back with terabytes of data. And then the next day you come again with terabytes of data in a good season. So that means your processing system needs to be capable of working with all this massive incoming data on a daily basis. And only if that also is only if that is a capable system, at the end you have an overall capable solution. So for us, both goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. True. That's absolutely true. And how is Vexcel now that the software and the hardware are together? And it also includes bringing some advanced automation and YouTube tools as well, right? How is Vexcel enabling this, and what kind of superior imaging products that Vexcel is producing?
You're totally right. So, as I mentioned, the workflow is important and important part of the solution. And the philosophy of UltraMap was always to offer the highest possible degree of automatization. Automatization is never 100%, that's clear, but the software should help the customer as best as possible. But on the other side, should also enable or allow the customer to be part of each processing step to fine-tune it. So we are not a fan of a black box approach where you throw the data in and you get a result out, but you have no clue what's happening in between, and you can't interact and you can't influence it. So it's a kind of a guided workflow with a lot of help by the software, but the ultimate control and decision is on the user. And that's a kind of our North Star for the development. And by that, well, we are constantly working on new features. Already some years ago, we launched our first AI-driven feature, like the automated watermasking, where we are using the rich data sets we are getting through the Vexcel data program, which is a kind of worldwide library. We are using this data set to train our software UltraMap on how water looks like and how water boundaries look like for river, for lakes, for coastline. And that's part of UltraMap now, which leads to a fantastic feature of automated water masking, reduces manual labor time at this processing step drastically. And that's also one example and the start of what we are inventing in the software side.
Okay. Fabulous. So you mentioned about the data program, Alexander. Would you want to share a success story of this data program?
Yeah, happy to do so. So that's big for us now. So that is a huge project inside Vexcel, and also the driver for this growth of Vexcel. So the Vexcel data program was launched in 2017 as a pilot project for the insurance industry. We were talking to the insurance industry about utilization of geospatial data for risk monitoring and claim adjustment. And by nature, insurance is heavily geospatial data loaded, and we started. So we were big mouthing around how fantastic our solution can be to help them. And then while we were sitting together with the guys, a huge hurricane came in. I think it was Irma at that time, but I'm not totally sure. And then the guys from the insurance side were smiling. Okay, yeah, you told us how fantastic your solution can be. Go out and showcase. Okay. Our problem now, and we jumped into planes. Well, not we. We asked an UltraCam customer to fly and collect the data immediately after the hurricane, and processed the data overnight and got into the insurance industry the next day. And it was just mind-blowing. They were so surprised by the quality of the data, and also by, let's say, the accuracy in the geocoding. So they could see what they needed to see to assess the risk by looking on the imagery. There was no need anymore to send dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of claim adjusters into the scene after disaster. So that was a fantastic showcase for them. On the other side, the data went to all the first aiders, police, firemen, Red Cross, and all these things, NOAA, FEMA, and they started to plan their rescue work and rebuild of infrastructure on this imagery. So that was a great pilot project, and we got more and more requests. So we established this, what we call gray sky element of VDP, because gray sky means it's bad weather, and usually when a disaster hits, there is bad weather. So we had this gray sky element, and that built out first in the US, but we are now active on this worldwide, doing also a lot in Australia, Japan, you name it. So we are now active with Vexcel Data Program in more than 40 countries around the globe. Well, and then when we had the disaster imagery, soon the question arose, how did the area look like before? Okay, so and that lead to the second element of the Vexcel Data Program, what we call blue sky. So that means the sky is clear and funny and sunny, like at least today in Germany here. So I'm at home in Germany right now. So and that means we started our regular data collection, where we are flying on a standardized specification with our camera systems. We are flying areas, cities and continents. The cities are mapped with the Osprey, the continents are mapped with the Condor, and that data is processed in our own data center, also to a set of specifications which are the same for all captures around the globe. And that leads to a unique database, worldwide data set of imagery and metadata like 3D data information, also imagery and all the things, which is consistent regardless where it is captured in this world. And that is highly interested for a lot of companies. So we have a ton of customers now who are buying this data for their own applications. So it's not only the insurance industry, also a lot of IT companies are now standardizing on our imagery library for their applications. Yeah, and so that grew from a pilot project in 2017 to now being the biggest aerial image collection program in the world, where we are flying dozens of cameras on a daily basis. We are collecting petabyte of data, and that also made Vexcel grow into a 500+ employees company now.
Fantastic. Geospatial data and technology, the possibilities are endless, and it continues to amaze me.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So as the business is growing, how is Vexcel balancing the cutting edge technology needs of its customers while being very cost effective for them?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's a tough question to answer. It depends. I would say life is not getting easier currently for everybody. That also includes us, fair to say, and honest to say. So it's becoming more and more challenging. When I look on the camera systems, we are in a kind of a mature industry. A lot of development happened over the last 20 years, and the development cycles are getting longer and longer. The development is getting more expensive. Also, the hardware, if I look on the costs of the new CMOS sensor, for example, the 811 we are now using for our UltraCam Osprey 4.2, that's also quite expensive compared to its predecessors. The lenses need to be capable of resolving this high resolution, so that makes the lenses more expensive. So these are all just examples of that the technology is on one hand on a very mature state, but also that means improvements are costly. Well, we try to balance that as always through our approach, that the hardware needs to be as good as it needs to be. For example, don't be cheap with your lenses, don't be cheap with your shutter, don't be cheap with your electronics. But on the other side, try to balance it in a way and look on where you can resolve the problem by software instead of hardware. One example is adaptive motion compensation, where we implemented a software-driven solution for the compensation of motion blur, which is highly capable, much more capable than a mechanical solution, but also not so costly like a mechanical solution. So there are examples on that you with say a clever camera design and clever decisions, you can bring down your costs. But a camera is an expensive and complex part of technology. That's fair to state. We try to. Well, what we do is in our offering to the customers, first we are supporting our cameras plus 15 years. So the customer can use the technology very long, which makes it possible and easier for them to earn money and pay back. And then we offer upgrade paths. So for example, now with the Osprey 4.2, there is an upgrade path. So for somebody owning an Osprey 4.1, he can send the camera in. We are exchanging the sensors. He gets the camera back. So that is a very cost-efficient way to keep up with the innovation without the need of investing always in a completely new system. So that's an upgrade by refurbishment. When that is technology-wise not possible, we offer upgrades by trade-in. So when he buys a new camera, he can trade in his current system. And that helps in keeping up with the innovation. And also, last but not least, if a customer wants to resell a camera, an UltraCam, and he can't find a buyer in the market, then we also offer that we resell this camera through our sales channel, which is a worldwide sales channel, so that he can, by that, go into a new UltraCam. So there are several means we use to deal with this. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thanks for the detail, Alexander. I hope I have not put you on a spot by asking that question.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's a fair question, and as I mentioned, life is not getting easier, so we all need to find our way through the jungle, and we do that in a highly cooperative or in a close link with our customers, as we can always only be successful together, right?
Okay, fantastic. Alexander, Vexcel Imaging has been a long-standing member of WGIC, right? How has been the journey with WGIC so far for you?
Yeah. So thanks for that question. So we are probably not a super duper active member, but we feel that it is the right thing to be part of this World Geospatial Council, because we believe in global cooperation. We believe in mutual support. And also, we feel that it is super important to tell the outside what our industry does and how important our industry is for everybody. I believe that not many I believe that not many people know or understand what our industry does and how important our industry is for all aspects of modern life. And I would say that's not only true for the people on the streets, but also for a lot of politicians and other decision makers. So having a worldwide voice for me, for us as Vexcel, is critical for the industry to be heard and seen and also to be valued.
Right. Absolutely right. Geospatial industry is on one side witnessing a rapid change with geospatial systems becoming more agile, complex, and interconnected. On the other side, there is a sense that the potential is not being fully tapped into of this technology, right? So in this paradigm, what do you envisage for the industry body, the WGIC, moving forward in making a meaningful impact?
Yeah, so I would say, first of all, well, change is inherent to our world, and so it's also to our industry as we are an essential part of this world. For me, very important is that you continue to voice the capability of the industry. We have a lot of unresolved problems. Some problems like wars, we probably can't help resolving, but some others like climate change, global warming, overpopulation, quality life in cities, there is a lot our industry could help resolving it, addressing it, and resolving it. But people need to know how we can do. So voicing the capability of the industry to the bodies, showcasing examples of solution. I feel that's super important, so that people understand what they can get out of what this industry delivers.
Fantastic. That's a very nicely put in terms of what we need to do and where we move forward collectively as a single voice of WGIC. Thank you so much, Alexander, for this time and this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure. So hope to meet in person soon. Hope to be able to talk to you soon again. Thank you so much.